if you've ever been asked for numbers to try and work out your business plan, um, you've got to make it up. It sounds horrendous. It sounds completely stupid, as if you're not in the know, as if you're not a real business person. It'll make you feel like a complete and utter halfwit. You'll get business plans, you get consultants, you get any amount of software that are forecasting your cash flow, and it'll all say input the cost of your ingredients, input the cost of your time, work out how much you're going to sell, how many biscuits will you sell next week. I don't know. I've never sold biscuits before. I've never sold a try bake before. I'm starting a bakery business. How would I know? And you can't really go and ask a competitor, how much do you sell each week? And yeah, no. Just ask a good friend who's a baker. Yeah, give us the inside details on your business and let me know how that's going. So if you're in that position, good luck. You're a lucky hound. When I started, I hadn't a clue, and I asked loads of places. I did tons of research. I got research bodies. I had research reports on the bakery market, and they'll tell you that it's worth billions and millions in here, and import and export and all the rest. How much does a packet of biscuits actually cost to the company who makes it? We're not telling you that. It's trade secret. It's a pain in the backside. It really is. I can tell you that the first retailer I went to, and I asked them, what sort of markup do you need? Because I was trying to work out, well, how much is it going to be? How much do I need to charge for a packet of biscuits? Or how much can I charge? And they said 400%. Oh, right, okay, cool. And I went around to another couple of retailers, and I actually spoke to a couple of manufacturers, and they said 400%. You're having a laugh. Tell that idiot to go away. So yeah, they were just lying. Or they were just used to buying mass-produced crappy biscuits from a mass producer who makes 2-3 pence biscuits. Or some of the biscuits are priced at 4 decimal places. That's the cost of producing that one biscuit by ingredients. So they're absolutely mass-produced. Some of them are genuinely awful. So, but you don't know that at the start. You just got to go and buy everybody's biscuit. It's one thing I did do, was literally buy every competitor. I went to every gift shop in the country, every major gift shop in every county, and bought one of every competitor's biscuit, and looked at their packet, looked at the price, looked at the shelf life, and then looked at that. That's my target market. That's those gift shops, people buying those products. I couldn't match any of them on price. They were all far bigger than me, all bigger suppliers. Some of them were huge suppliers. But I'm looking at it going, well, I know I can sell them. It's a really good product. So what can I sell them for? And I made a list of ingredients. So I buy my ingredients from Sainsbury's. So I was paying a fortune for a 3 kilo bag of flour. It's the biggest bags that they do. I was buying 1 kilo bags of sugar, and a couple of bags of, or a couple of packets of butter, and paying full retail price for butter, which at the minute is £4.50 a kilo. Or no, sorry, it's £4.50 for half a kilo. 500 gram blocks, £4.50. Then I went to the wholesalers and said, how much is your butter? I'm like, well, how much do you want? How often do you want it? Do you want delivery? Do you need some things of VAT, some don't? You VAT registered? No. Which our delivery schedules are Tuesdays and Thursdays in your area. Do you want it by the pallet? A pallet of butter is quite a lot. You need a really big fridge. So you look at that and go, feeling like a right dipstick. It's a torture. So the way to do it is have a look at your competitors' prices. Not everybody is actually your competitor. A packet of digestives at 90p is not my competitor for a £5 box of biscuits. You go, £5? Nobody pays £5 for a box of biscuits. They do when they're tourists and they want a really nice gift that comes in a really fancy box that has a nice story on it, has gold foiling on it. It's beautiful. It doesn't come in a shrink wrap plastic wrap that is complete throwaway and you go 90p packet of biscuits. It's a totally different market. So don't compare yourself against the wrong products and the wrong competitors. There are other competitors who make gift biscuits, and they're very nice and they're very lovely and they're a lot cheaper than mine, but they're not handmade and they can't say handmade on it. Or they can say handmade, but they can't say homemade. So it's getting that balance, and you've got to find the copy, the right words to use, which impart the fact that you may hand make your biscuits, or your tray bakes, or your bakeries, or whatever it is you make. Your bakes are yours and they're custom made and they're beautiful and there's a story behind them. You've got to get that across, and that's tricky. That's where the real secret sales part is, and you got to get it past the buyers who will tell you all sorts of nonsense like 400%. So when you've got through that hurdle with really nice packaging and a good price and a good service commitment, then you can start to get somewhere. But those initial numbers, work out what your costs are now, and then guesstimate. So a decent sized shop will take about 10 packets of biscuits a week. They'll go through 10 packets a week. Also have a look at potentially white labeling. Will those companies put your product in their own box? You just supply them in a plastic wrap. Now there are legals around that. You can't get away from labeling. You have to have proper labeling on the outer box so that they can transfer that information onto their box. Best before, batch dates, who actually produces the biscuit or the bake, whatever it is. But those are all options. So, but yeah, I was just going to ask the retailers, what are you charging or what are you paying for these biscuits? They're not your competitor, so there's a good chance that a friendly one will tell you. Some of them are a bit cagey, some of them are a bit furry about it, or they'll lie, but it gives you a ballpark figure. Most of your competitors are going to be bigger than you. They're more established for longer. They'll have volume discounts. But go to wholesalers and say, look, I'm starting up. I don't know how much I'm going to buy. So let's say I can come once a month and buy one industrial bag of flour. So that's going to be 15 kilos. This could be the minimum that they sell. 15 kilos of flour, 25 kilos of sugar, whatever your ingredients are. Give them that shopping list and say, give us a price for your minimum of those. Include any VAT in it. Give us a delivery cost if there is one, or will you let me pick it up? Can I come drive around and lift it? So I still drive around and lift a lot of my ingredients because it saves me waiting for the delivery schedule, who's going to come at 6 a.m, who are used to going to shops and delivering stuff early in the morning by the pallet. So that doesn't suit me. I'm at home. Just ask them. Just tell them up front. I'm a noob, haven't a clue. Here's my list of ingredients. They want your business because they want to see your business grow. And some of them are brilliant. I mean, I use Andrews there in Lisburn. They're huge. They're a BRC accredited supplier. They supply massive amounts to huge companies. I can also drive up, I can place an order on the phone and say, look, I want one bag of flour, 15 kilos. And they'll say, yeah, no problem. We'll take card payment. We're not doing credit. We're not doing forms and a load of application system. You just pay, come and get it. But I will do that regularly with them, and they're happy with that, as long as I'm not buying one bag of flour so I can make a couple of cakes at Christmas. You've got to work with them, but you go around and tell them this is what I buy, and this is what I need, and they will give you a price for it. So it's not going to be a great price, but it's going to be a lot better than buying a 3 kilo bag in Sainsbury's this week and another 3 kilo bag next week. So, but if you can work out, the shops are going to turn over, just go and ask them, but whatever your local retailers are turning over and say, look, how many of these packets a week do you sell? That gives you numbers to work with. So if they're shipping 10 packets of biscuits a week and you want to get into 10 stores, you got to do 100 packets a week. So it's a ballpark figure. You've got to get all those sales, and that's going to take time. So you're not going to go out in your first week and do 100 packets of biscuit sales. But now you have figures, you have sales targets, and you have an idea of cost. There will always be hidden costs, things that creep up on you. You suddenly realize that actually your time for delivery could be longer than your time for baking the biscuits. So suddenly you're at another 15 quid if you're minimum wage. And that's minimum wage as an employer, where you got to pay the wage, you got to pay the national insurance and contributions, and you got to pay pension contributions and so on. So actually work out a proper figure for yourself, and your fuel, wear and tear in the car. If it was an employee doing it, what would the mileage allowance be? Work that out so you can actually pay yourself properly. Then price your product accordingly. So you might be making absolute minimum on your product right now, but you can do that, and that's what I did at the start. I charged the absolute minimum. I was making a couple of pence per box of biscuit, but I knew as soon as I got those volume discounts, I would suddenly be making 20-30p per box of biscuits. It's still not big, but in percentage wise it's quite good. So work that out. Price close to not making money at the very start, knowing you're going to get volume discounts right away, because as soon as you get any decent sales, you're straight down to the wholesaler and say, right, time to buy some butter. And my butter price nearly went in half when I first started, so it's through the roof now, but I'm still saving about 50p, or I'm saving nearly £1 per kilo buying it in bulk. And I'm not buying big volumes, I'm buying a few kilos at a time. It comes in a tray, but I'm not buying it by the pallet, so it's still a big saving, and I can drive down and get it, so that saves on the delivery cost. So price close to just about making money, but as long as you're making money, don't go with loss leaders. Don't go with getting just to get it in the shop. I'm gonna make this and make a loss of 10p a packet. I'm only paying for, it's only £1. I'm only 10 packets this week, so I'm losing £1 this week. I know I'll get discount and volume over the next couple of weeks. It's great, but butter price could go through the roof next week, and you suddenly have to raise your price. You raise your price a week after you started selling it, retailers aren't going to like you. So you've got to build in margin for price increases. And when the price does increase, it also means you don't have to increase your price right away. You can cushion it for a little while, which your retailers enjoy because they will be getting hammered from everybody with a sudden price rise. So I've only raised my prices twice in 5 years because I had decent margin built in at the start. At the very start I was making no money, but I allowed for that so that I would get volume discounts, and then I would only raise the prices if I really had to. COVID with butter and between COVID and the Suez Canal crisis with packaging, that was the 2 times I had to raise my price. And it's hateful. You got to go to the retailer and say, look, here's my new cost. This is what it costs. This is the new cost that I'm paying in ingredients. So this is the price I have to go to. And that's the way it is. And they expect it because everybody has to do it. So don't be worrying about that. But don't shoot them in the foot either by raising your price every week because you're so close to tight margins. But yeah, at the start, when you're trying to do cash flow forecast and work out what am I going to sell, just go into the retailers and have a look at the packets that are out there and just ask them, how many of these would you shift in a week? How many would sell? Do you buy these? I would love to sell a new product to you, but I'm just trying to work out at this stage what how many I need to make, what sort of volume of products do I need to order, ingredients, how much have I got to buy. Just tell them up front, and they'll go, all right, that's quite nice, yeah, we'll sell 20 of these and 5 of these or 50 of those, depends what it is. And quite often they'll tell you, or you'll get a noob at the counter who has no clue. You just got to ask for the manager and ask somebody or drop them an email, but just ask them. So the least they can do is say no. If you go to your competitor and say, how much are you selling into that company, they'll laugh at you. Just go away. Just no. But eventually, when you get to know your competitors, some of them are brilliant. Don't be afraid to talk to them because ultimately, all bakers really talk to each other. Some of them are absolute cretins. My competitors are turnips who will try to steal the eyes out of your head. And that's just the way they operate. So you just know, well, we don't work with them. Other competitors I will send work to. If I can't fulfill an order, I'll send it to the competitor and say, look, here's a customer. You can do that better and bigger and far cheaper than I can do it. I wouldn't, there's no point in me trying to do it for them. I couldn't fulfill the order properly. Here's it for you. Or you can't get packaging. This happened quite a bit over COVID. I went to competitors and said, look, I have completely run out of packaging. My suppliers are supplying much bigger contracts than me. I'm only buying like 200 packets a month. Do you have any spare packaging? They're like, yeah. Now we're talking about plain stuff, so you can put a sticker on it and you'll look at it and say, right, I will put a sticker on, I will change it and make sure it looks totally different to yours, but for now I just need 200 packs. And like, yeah, just take some off their pallet, and they're happy with that, it's no problem. So don't be afraid to work with them. But yeah, when you're at the start and you're just trying to figure out some numbers and how much you're going to sell it for, work out your own costs first. Just using supermarket prices, whatever you're paying now, just work that out and know that you're going to get it cheaper by volume down the line. And then ask the retailers, how many do you sell? And there's the retail price. You've got a retail price, you've got your price, and you've got how many are getting sold. And that's the 3 numbers you need. And once you've got that, you can immediately work out, just stick it in a wee spreadsheet and you can immediately work out, there's the margin. That's how much I could potentially make on that product. Or I need to change my product, change the packaging, how it looks, to appeal to somebody who's going to pay a bit more. And you are going to go in more expensive than others, but that's okay. That's your product. It's handmade, it's homemade, it's custom, it's got a story to it, whatever that is. You've got to convey all that to the buyers in the shops, and sell direct online. So most of my sales at the start were online because I could sell at a higher retail. There's more work to it. I got to package it, I got to ship it, I got to do all that. But it kept the business going and until I could get into more retail. Once I get into more retail and I had the discount volume from doing the online stuff, I could get a better price for the retailers because they've got so much more markup they need to add to cover their staff and their sales and so on. But at the same time, they don't order 1 packet of biscuits, which takes just as long to fulfill as 10 packets of biscuits because you gotta wrap 1 packet of biscuits and label it and stick it and book it in and all the rest. 10 packets of biscuits, wrap them, put them in 1 big box, drive down the shop and deliver them. It's great, but you don't get as much margin on it, you don't make as much money. So you got to get that balance, and that's why you end up around doing 2 jobs at the start. Do your online sales, do your markets, stalls, do your retailers. You're just trying to get everywhere at the same time, just to try and get that balance. You're not making very much money at all with the retailers, but you're making decent money on e-commerce, but it's time consuming. And you'll grow, you'll get a balance as you go and work that out. I'm bringing out a cookie range in hopefully in about a month's time, and they're £10 each, like £10 per cookie. Who pays £10 per cookie? About 5 years ago I looked at that and went, no. Nobody in the world would pay £10 a cookie, and I know that they will. They are special. There's a secret sauce to it. There's a special it's not a trick, it's real. There's a really good reason of why they're £10. People look and go, absolutely, I will definitely pay £10 for that, there's no problem. And there's for a number of really good marketing reasons why they will pay a tenner. But you look at that box behind me there, where would you pay £5 for a box of shortbread? I go into the shops now in Sainsbury's, and a Patterson's box of shortbread, I think it's Patterson's, it's about that size. It's actually bigger than my hands will fit in the camera. You get them at Christmas. I think is it £3? It's about £3, The actual weight of it is 500 grams. It's about half a kilo. So my boxes, my competitors' boxes, all this kind of thing are about 200 grams. They're all typically 180 to 200, almost 200. And these will retail between £3 to £7, depends on the manufacturer. Mine are £5. Comes in a nice box, gold foiling with the Mourne walls on it, the hexagons from the causeway. It's got the backstory on it. It's got 3 languages, long shelf life, nice photo of the biscuits. Pretty straightforward, but that's a gift box. You don't lift that in the supermarket and compare it to a packet of digestives. It's a totally different product. It's a biscuit, but it's totally different, and people see it in a different way. But that's quite nice. You can only get them in the gift shops or online, so there's a degree of scarcity to it. I don't sell them in the multiples. I don't want the Thornton's effect where you just dilute your product across the world. But you've got to get that balance. So there's a way of selling it. But yeah, there is a market for cookies at £10. I'm not going to tell you what the secret sauce of that one is yet because I have to release them first and do it. But I'm looking forward to bringing those out. So it's really excited for a new cookie range. But when you're starting up, get your 3 numbers. Your costs, a reasonable estimate from wholesalers, and how many products, equivalent products, are being sold in the retailers that you want to sell into. When you've got those 3, you can forecast everything and anything. They'll be totally inaccurate. It'll be a completely wrong number what you'll come out with, but it'll be something that you can look at and say, if I make that much money, if I make that many sales, this is how much money I'll make. Is it worthwhile? Do I need to change product? Do I need to increase the volume cost? Do I need to buy more products in order to get a lower price? What do I need to work on? Don't fall into the trap of going for product width over depth or range. It's easy to make more new products. So I can't quite sell one shortbread. So maybe I'll make a flavoured shortbread. Maybe I'll make 5 different flavours of shortbread. You end up making tons of different products, and you get 1 order for 1 flavour, and you get 2 orders for 1 flavour, and 1 order for another flavour. And it's like, you've got to make all different flavours, and it's tons more work, but you're not fulfilling any more orders. If you can't sell 1 product that you know is really good, you're not going to sell 4 products that you know are really good. It's nice to have a range. Start with 1. Sell 1. That's your first sales target. And you get 1 in there, then you can build out the others and say, look, here's others that are coming out. We're going to bring other ranges, a couple of different flavours. Bring them in, let them try them, let them tell you what they want to buy, get them excited about it. But don't keep producing wider and wider ranges and buying more ingredients and buying more things to try. It's really fun, and it gets you baking, and it's tons of fun doing NPDs or new product development. I really enjoy it, but it's really easy to fall into a trap. When I started, I think I had 8 flavours of iced alcoholic biscuits. They were brilliant. They made national news. They were literally featured in newspapers and online across the UK and some even parts of Europe. It was fantastic. Orders were not fantastic. I was getting orders on loads of orders online. It was great, but it was all for every flavour. Retailers, they wanted 1 flavour. There's 1 plain shortbread. There's a couple of retailers wanted just gin and tonic. It's like, well, that's great, but I have to ship 5 boxes of gin and tonic this week to 1 retailer on one side of the country. I got to ship plain shortbread for 10 boxes to somebody on the other side of the country. It wasn't really worth the while. It wasn't worth the effort and the time to try and fulfill these little orders across the country in different places, while you're still trying to make 7 or 8 different flavours. It was torture. So I eventually narrowed it down to the top 3 sellers plus plain shortbread. And even those alcoholic ones now I don't even sell online. They only go to retailers because fulfilling 1 order isn't worth the time and effort online. For the time it takes to make them. They're very technical to make. They're a pain, but they're really tasty. So now those ones only go to retailers. So these new cookies that are coming out are going to be direct to consumers. They're not going in the shops. They're only going to be for online, but there's a reason for that. Secret sauce. So find the numbers and the products that work for you, but don't fall into that trap of going madly wide. Do 2 or 3 products, sell those. If you can't sell them, find a way to sell a product that works. When you can do that, then you're making money. Then you can put that money as an investment into new products and go wider. That's you can do it safely, and you'll feel a lot better about it without just having tons of products nobody seems to buy. It's because you've gone too thin, too wide. Sell 1 and get started.